We sort of track back to the discussion around the scale of the products and the product projects that you get involved with in the B2B sector. But I think just at the start of what you just said there, you kind of touched on another interesting, I suppose, aspect of how we run the agency at SE10 in terms of the people we look for, because obviously we have historically hired a lot of journalists. I'm from a journalism background myself, and you already had some very high profile jobs in journalism, and we talked a little bit about the kind of natural curiosity that has to be embedded in you to even succeed at being a journalist, right? Yeah, it's a skill, but you also have to have that natural storytelling curiosity to be able to ask the right questions and get in there and pull the most interesting elements out of a particular story. But it also sort of feeds into the kind of the people, the team that we have at SE10, and how we've got to build that and develop that. And when we're doing our interviews and we're looking for new execs or managers or directors, and we've had a lot of people down the years that have sort of come to us from different kind of backgrounds, and some have had that agency experience, others have had journalism experience, but not so much on the B2B side. But I would say really that kind of curiosity and the passion for learning is, I don't know, I mean, certainly for me, when I'm doing interviews, that's always something I'm really looking for, right? Because you're not really going to be interviewing too many people in a PR environment that have some sort of expertise in the chemicals business, right? There's always a limited pool of those people out there. But if you get the right people with the right passion for learning and understanding, we've had so many success cases down the years, of people coming in with limited experience, nurturing them up, onboarding them with clients, and then seeing them turn into really quite skilled and creative storytellers and account leads for all sorts of different B2B brands,
Yeah. And slight detour, but for me, I think part of that curiosity comes from a liberal arts background, and I think it's been very in vogue the past few years to bash liberal arts education and college for the sake of college, and education for the sake of education. Granted, these types of degrees aren't for everyone, and a lot of people can go into a STEM field and make a lot of money a lot faster, and probably maybe be more useful for society, right? I think we need more electricians and plumbers and welders and craftsmen, and I have the utmost respect for that, coming from a blue collar family. But me having to study chemistry and English and economics and history and music and all of this in a liberal arts school, I think gave me a fundamental curiosity for all these types of subjects that we get into during PR. Like you mentioned, the chemical industry, right? I have no experience in chemicals, but I did have to take a year of chemistry in college, which I think gave me enough to be interested in what could be done with chemistry, right? Help a client be successful. So if anyone's listening, liberal arts is still great. You should still study liberal arts if you want to. Join us in PR.
But I think we're a bit quick to pigeonhole, right? And we make all these different assumptions. But like you said, you had that liberal arts degree, but you also, you had that family background in the car industry, where that was such a big part of growing up, and so you did have that overlap with the mechanical sector. And for me, I always loved writing and I loved literature and things growing up. But actually, when it came to exam times, I performed terribly. I was useless. I couldn't get anywhere with it. But I kept doing really well at maths and sciences, and that sort of drove me into an education that was built around science and physics and engineering and mathematics and things like that, which are all great subjects that I love a lot and encounter in my day-to-day work. But I've been able to carve out a career that actually merges those sort of mathematical sides of education with the more creative, and that's another part, that's another area of what we do that I really love. Telling those stories of engineering and power and energy and technology and science and things like that. It's, yeah, I love all of it.